apologize, Jeff. I ran out of time and I rambled. I apologize about that. What I was saying was that my church is involved in handing out boxes of food, canned goods, rice, meats, whatever that they are able to give, and it is part of the ministry that they're involved in for the community, much like we are doing. Um, we do something very similar, but they have a lot more families, I've noticed, that do go over there. Um, they're more in the southwest area, more in the downtown area. Um, so there are some churches. It just sadly, it's not enough. They're the main ones that are called to take care of the homeless and the widows and such. But sadly, we don't see enough people doing that. A lot of churches, sadly, are more inward. My church is focused more on the community, and we've even got basically a motto. It's, love God with all your heart and love thy neighbor as yourself. And we, our importance, our goal is to reach out to the community. And as our church grew and we felt a calling, we even we even opened up another church, our sister church. A handful of people who felt called also to do this uh, left our church to go and run the new church in another county. So um, that's our goal. We're one of the few churches, and I'm not saying we're the only one, but I'm saying we are one of a few that is trying to reach out to the community and do what we can do. Um, it's just a small part, though. Like you said, this really is a big thing, and you don't want to, just give them money because you're right. It wouldn't be fair to the rest of us who are working really hard for that money. It's actually very enabling those who take advantage of being homeless and, you know, shelters and things being out there that's willing to help and things. As far as the clothing goes, too, our ministry, what we do at the ministry, we have these vouchers. And with the vouchers, they can come into the thrift store, and it's like money. It's a little card, has an amount on it, and they can pick out some clothes for the amount that's on the card, bring it to the register, and just give them the card, and they've got some new clothes. So a lot of people, um, they wear everything they have on their back because they're afraid that it's going to get stolen otherwise. The bags get stolen. Because sadly, the homeless people do steal from one another. And they steal from one another because they're that desperate. And it's a pretty sad situation. Um, that's part of the reason we have rules, too. Like, they can't take all their bags upstairs with them. They can only take what they need for the night because otherwise, during the night, some of the people that are sleeping in the room there with them or beside them could try to take off with their things, or go through their bags and steal some of their clothes from their bags and whatnot. So we do it for their protection too, to protect their things from getting stolen. Their bags get locked up in a room downstairs that the guys that check them in, they're the only ones that have access to it. And so I don't know. It is a sad thing, and I totally agree with you. It seems like there's so much more that could be done, and I know my father-in-law. I feel kind of torn because I know he's got a lot of good intentions, a lot of really great ideas that he has that he wants to do. Um, but in reality, there's only him, my mother in law, and my husband that are really even running the shelter. Maybe a few volunteers here and there, um, but a lot of times they're in it for themselves, sadly enough. and they want to do things their way. They don't want to, they don't understand, I guess, the rules, or they just, I don't know. I don't know. It's a difficult situation because Pop wants to do so much, but there's just them working on and doing this. We do have the program guys, but like I said, that's been unreliable also a lot of times because um, a lot of them give up. They don't complete the program and they give up and they go right back out to the streets and back out to their old lifestyle that they originally came in there to stop, doing the drugs and alcohol. But they get weak. People are weak and that happens. And then we get shorthanded, or the guys don't really want to work and they they cause problems. Of course, we see that. I've seen that even with people that aren't in drugs and alcohol, and when I was working and stuff, and not a stay-at-home mom, people just don't have any sense of work ethics like they may have had years ago. So it's like we've gotten lazy. A lot of people have gotten lazy, and we rely on the government. We rely on welfare and things like that rather than work for what we need. And Pop says it all the time. You want to eat, you gotta work, and he tries to get these guys back on their feet and learning these things that are relearning things rather. But anyways, I just wanted to share some of my thoughts with that. You made a lot of good, valid points. I didn't disagree with you at all. But I did want to answer your questions from, somebody who is from the inside of the shelters. I can't speak for all of them. They're not all shelters out there that have a very good reputation, sadly enough. And a lot of people do it for selfish reasons. Their heart really isn't in it. It's like temporary and things like that too. There's a lot of factors there. Um, some of them are in it just for the numbers because they get a government check, and when they get a government check, the government gives them so much money per person that stays there at the shelter. So the people become more about the number and not the individual people that come in there, and that's sad to me too. Um, it should be about the individual person and you know caring about them. That's that's why a lot of people care about the homeless because they put themselves in that person's shoes. What if it were me? Um, I wouldn't want to be just a number. I'd want somebody to actually care about me and what I'm going through and how I'm feeling and how this is affecting my family. But I don't know. I just think a lot of people have gotten selfish and lazy lately in these days, and even in the Christian community. Not to say that that's the case with everyone. Can't lump us all up in one category, but yeah, it's something to think about. And like I said too, it seems around Christmas time that's the time that everybody's got a change of heart, and then what happens after Christmas is back to the same old. And what's left to happen to the homeless people? Well, they're still out there. They're still out there and they're still struggling. And the thing to think about is you don't want to give up helping people and getting discouraged. A lot of times it happens with us, and my husband and I talk about the things going on with so and so left the program, and or this, that, and the other, or about a family who came in for free furniture. They claim that their house burned down and they want